I was going to make a video about all the facts and the details of my research on how my mother and father got raped at Lake George, New York at their marina on Harris Bay. I was going to make a video about that this morning, about how the enormous number of details and facts I've published about it are all true. But, what was visited upon my parents? Well, it was visited upon me. In New York State, I guarantee you one thing. It's far, far, far from over. Governor Hochul and Letitia James and Mr. Jason Carasone and Warren County Attorney, what was visited upon my parents was visited upon me, and we're far, far, far from done with exposing the corruption that was visited upon my parents. But I want to move on to a little bit more of an important matter, and that's to go into Iran and just take the oil. Just go into Iran, with the Shah after World War II, and let's go in and just take the control of the minerals and the oil in Iran. Let's just take it. Now, this is something that's been just big on old Donald Trump's mind for quite a long time. Just go in and take the oil, right, Donald Trump? I'm going to say something here that might shock a few people. Donald Trump's a criminal. Donald Trump is a deviant mind. He's not sick. He's a greedy, evil son of a bitch. And all of his maggots are the same way. That's why they can put up with and stomach that money laundering sack of shit Jeffrey Epstein and company, the money launderers. Now, what they were doing to the little kids, the kitty fuckers, what they were doing to the underage girls and the underage boys at Zorro Ranch and down at Mar-a-Lago, because they were recruiting from Boca Raton there, the, spring break. That's where they were recruiting from, and all those little half-naked girly pageants, right, Donald Trump? And that what you were all about? You were in the half-naked girly pageant business, weren't you, Donald Trump? And you'd walk into all the dressing rooms, and there'd be all those underage girls, naked, and you couldn't help yourself, could you, Donald Trump? Because you're a fucking pig. But let's get on to let's go in and take the oil with Milakowski, that Bolshevik, Chabadian, Lubavitch, Zionist, Bolshevik asshole from New York City, old Milakowski, nitwit, the Yahoo, the wanted international war criminal. Your buddy there, Donald Trump, he's an internationally wanted war criminal, and he's your pal. Why am I not shocked, Donald Trump? A message to America: you have a sociopath, an absolute pile of orange monkey shit sitting in the White House. That crap last night about the stolen 2020 elections, and he just keeps blah, 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 blah. That's all Donald Trump's about. Blah, 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 blah. Look the other way, look the other way. We're laundering shit tons of money with Epstein and company. That's my recommendation to the American people. Follow the money launderers. Just like the bankster gangsters that robbed all the financial institutions and Wall Street and the pension funds, the hedge funds. Follow the money launderers like Donald Trump and all of his bankster gangster shitbag friends. Shitbag, money laundering butties of Donald the convict, the felon, the serial felon, 34 felony convictions. And the Supreme Court of the United States, by lying about it, he ain't got any damn immunity. That's just a pile of monkey turds there, John Roberts. You, John Roberts, and Kavanaugh and the rest of them that supported this immunity chicken shit on Donald Trump, you're accessories. You're accessories to the crimes that have robbed the United States for many decades. It's sort of like that Supreme Court decision on how American Indians weren't human enough to own any land. Yeah, that's a specific case. I'll see if I can specifically list it below. How the American native tribes weren't human, so they couldn't own land they've been on for thousands of years. It's an interesting decision, U.S. Supreme. I call them the SCROTUS because that's exactly what they are. They're a big cod job, just like Donald Trump. And Genocide Joe, old Biden, he was trash too, like Billy Bob Blowjob, and Hillary, nothing but garbage, and Billy Bob Blowjob, you're trash, Clinton. And the Bushes and all that savings and loan robbing and bank looting and real estate scheming and scamming and money laundering. Holy shit, the money laundering. Money laundering. Sophie Cunningham, money laundering, Sophie Cunningham. I read a story about how her family was affected by the financial debacle of 2008. Well, it actually goes back to the 80s, but it all blew up in their faces in 2006, 7, and 8. So Sophie Cunningham, she put out an article about how it had affected her family. Isn't that interesting? Sophie Cunningham, affected by the bank scheming and scamming of Jeffrey Epstein, Trump, Clinton, Bush, Biden, and who else? Obama. Obama's involved in it too, with the Real Estate-Backed Mortgage Securities Working Group. Yeah, and the financial fraud investigation joke, the so-called task force. Yeah, they covered it all up, Barack Obama. You covered it up, pal. But in any event, this war in Iran where, Donald Trump's escalating the attacks and they're blowing up civilian infrastructure and they're murdering Iranian children and they're murdering Iranian moms and dads and they're murdering Iranian grandmas and grandpas. I got a message for you, Donald Trump. You go fuck yourself. Because your days, well, you painted yourself into that corner, you evil sack of shit. I said it right, and I know Secret Service and marshals and all the people over at the FBI going, hey, this guy don't like Donald Trump. And the answer is, you're goddamn right I don't. And those maggot people, that's what I got for maggots right there. The friends of the great orange turd. Yeah, I watched that shit about Save America Act last night. No, come on, Donald Trump. Will you give it up, man? Just turn yourself in, take your golf clubs, and go to federal prison. Well, that's where you're going, because after the midterms, you're fucking toast, Trump. They're gonna, I don't know, maybe the Iranians will get to you first. Who knows? History will tell that tale. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get off of here. I'm starting to blather on. I'm enjoying all this Canadian air today. So we know where our airflow comes from. It's got to be from Canada, right? The sky is just as smoky can be. Fascinating story, Canada. And to the Adirondack Park Agency and to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and those stinking slugs from the Lake George Association, I saw them all partying over at my parents' marina. They're sucking up to the old Harris Bay Yacht Club, the old Lake George Association. Yeah, with the Park Commission and DEC and the whole kit and caboodle of those thieving sons of bitches that raped and fucked my mother and father. And I want to just end this video with this. What y'all did to my parents, well, you did it to me. And we ain't anywhere near done. Mr. Jason Carasone, District Attorney of Warren County, we're not even close to done until all that property is returned and those damages are paid. I guess her name's Ann Bruno. She's the grand poobah of the Warren County Board of Supervisors. Old Ann Bruno. Write that down, Aunt Bruno. Until the damages are paid and the properties returned, Warren County's on the hook.